In this video, we'll be checking out the broken token insert for Founders of Gloomhaven from Cephalofair Games. Founders of Gloomhaven is the follow-up game to the popular hit Gloomhaven. However, instead of a dungeon crawl adventuring style of game, Founders of Gloomhaven is a more Euro style tile placement city building game where you lay out a map and are building out the city of Gloomhaven itself, set years, hundreds of years maybe even before the actual hit game takes place. Now, this game has a lot of bits and pieces, so when I heard there was a broken token insert for it, I knew that it was gonna be something worth checking out. So, with that, let's open up and see what you get inside. So first you've got space for your map, and then your kind of inserts for inset places for the board for the voting of buildings and your training cards. Then you got all the different player boards for the races that nicely set in here. Then you have probably my favorite aspect of this insert, and that is the different spaces for all the different prestige buildings. I played this without the insert, and these buildings were just kind of set in a pile somewhere and just had to sort through and go them. So here, they're all nicely laid out, and there's little indents to where you can pop each building out, and then underneath, it's actually burned in with what is each building so that you know exactly where to fit back in each spot. So then we take this mamma jamma out, and we have my second favorite thing about this insert, and that is an acrylic overlay for the Tech Tree materials board. So while it's not perfect in the sense that, you know, it doesn't latch onto the board at all, it just slides over it, it does still mean that, you know, if you've got a resource in here, that if you bump and slide it, assuming you don't have it at like 45 degrees to do for a video, if you bump or slide it, it's still going to maintain its relative position, and you just line it back up. Unlike normally if it's just sitting on here and you bump it and it's like, oh crap, which resource did I have access to again? So that's definitely, anytime there's something that's inset like this, always definitely adds something to the game whenever I'm playing it. So we have the next big piece is all the other resource places. You've got, so like I said, just for the, like there is for the buildings, this is definitely nice as well. You've got a nice little inset for all the different resource buildings as well, and your voting tokens up on top there. Then you have down here at the bottom, there's 9 different trays for all the different pieces and stuff that you need for each race. So when a player picks a race, you can just hand them this whole box and it's got everything they need component wise. And there's 9 of those that all stack neatly down here at the bottom. Up top here, you've got a money tray, and then you have another tray here for your road tiles, your lasting and fleeting resources or influences, and then some your chits for the building, the first player market, and the prestige buildings that are completed. And then the last bit here are these card trays for all the different cards that come in the game for the buildings, for the training cards, as well as your achievements, the small cards for the different resources, as well as your starting hands and that sort of thing. So what do I think of this insert? Well, it's definitely nice. Everything's put together very well. I like how everything's organized in the box and everything has a place. Everything fits very well snugly in there, especially if you put your card holders in the right organized way so they don't slide out into the bottom of the box, especially if you stand your games vertical. Like I said, the acrylic overlay and the polyomino sorting is very great as far as when you're playing and being able to sort through. It helps and ease the play. However, I will say it's not a must-have, unlike some other inserts such as like Terraforming Mars, where you feel like you kind of have to have those inserts to really be able to play well. This isn't necessarily in that case, as far as if you have a good enough system yourself as for organizing the different polyomino shapes, you probably be doing a fair good job, especially considering the base price of the game before you even get to the insert can be pretty expensive. When it comes to the build, most of these were fairly typical for a broken token insert build. I will say that this one in particular did give me a bunch of trouble, as I'll put some up here. You can see me building, but this one in particular, I wasn't sure if it was the instructions or maybe that something got misprinted or something, but it seemed like on my copy of the insert, the instructions in the guide, as far as compared to how the wooden shape and the burned in locations underneath didn't seem to completely line up with how they did in the instructions, so I had to put it together a couple of times. So I would definitely say make sure you check everything before you kind of like glue stuff down, or glue and snap stuff into place. Kind of do a common sense check to make sure, okay, is this grid lining up with the different buildings in the right way before you nail things down and that sort of thing. So the insert's definitely a luxury item, so I will say that, and it's not 100% needed to enjoy the game. But I will say that if you already have the game and you love the game, but maybe you're not breaking it out as much because the pieces they're hard to sort through, then I would definitely recommend, if you've got the means, this is a great insert. It's great production, as you would normally expect from the broken token. So if you have the ability, if you enjoy the game enough, then it's definitely worth picking up this insert. Do you have any questions about this insert? Let me know down in the comments below, and make sure to check us out on social media for other great reviews of inserts, accessories, products, board games, and RPGs. Thank you for checking us out, though, and we will see you next time. However, I will say, when building this insert, and you'll see a little bit, there it is. You'll see a little...